Welcome, Patriots. Eagle 2 here. Going live. Yep, we are live on the live stream. I'm going to switch over to Zoom. So this meeting is being live streamed. Okay, got it. Hopefully, I think last week or the week before, I hit the leave meeting button and I screwed everything
instead
up.
of the got it.
Yeah. So we just take a couple minutes to kind of hang out, let our folks hop on here. So welcome everybody that's watching this back. We got Prepared Patriot and some of our most esteemed alumnus on tonight, all the way from Hawaii at one point.
Yeah,
but they're locals. They're locals here in North Carolina now. So we got old. We just affectionately call him Kish, and then we got the Tactical Bits in the house tonight. So if you guys haven't been watching us, they've probably been in like photos and videos of almost every single class they've taken everything that we offer. So so we invited them on tonight because they just were hanging with us this past weekend. They took the combined Pistol 2 and Pistol 3 class, and so it will be just called Pistol 2 from here on out and be run as a 2-day class. So that'll be kind of cool. And so but anyway, in the live stream tonight, we got old Revs in the house, Brian Norris. We got Gary Johnson's hanging out. John Crane's in the house. Man, you guys are excited to see some new guests up in here. So Ariel's already on there. And so
I've not got the notification yet. You
haven't? Well, just you can always just go to the probably the Facebook or the YouTube page and grab it. So
that's what I'm doing.
And Rev said, howdy, Jason and John. Oh, Rockport's on here. So what's up, man? How's it going, Iron Unicorn? So yeah, so we got our some of our bestest alumni, Stone Cold Killers up in the house tonight. So just kind of hanging. Patrick's not going to be with us tonight. I could probably like talk about some of his news and stuff like that. So there's Dylan Clifford in the house. Dylan was in classes with us all weekend.
So I laughed. His comment was, make Ariel type left-handed.
Yep. So anyway, real quick before we kind of get into any kind of topics I might have come up with tonight. Really on our class front, guys, we're winding down a little bit for the season, but we do have a comprehensive concealed carry class coming up Sunday, November 14th, and so that is our version of concealed carry. If you're in the North Carolina area and looking to plug somebody into the best class available, where they actually get taught how to all about good holsters and quality equipment, how to conceal, how to draw, shoot, reholster, and actually qualify from concealed versus all these other rinky-dink bozo classes out there. Plug them in. That's 11/14. Then we're going to be rocking our medical low light combos. It's an introduction to medical and an introduction to low light class. That'll be November 20th, and Patrick and I are going to be teaching that. Apparently Doc Ron got himself busy, and so but I think I can somewhere between myself, Jerry, Patrick, and maybe these folks that are hanging with us tonight, just depends on if somebody's working or not, we can quickly teach people how to plug holes and apply tourniquets and then get to the fun stuff, which is like shooting in the dark, which is what everybody wants to do. So anyway, those are our big classes. And then if you're our alumni, if you're in this area, guys, December, I think we said 4th, we're going to be doing kind of a camp out sort of thing. So wow, there's text. So anyway, so we're going to be camping out at the pit December 4th, probably staying into the 5th and everything. So it's a great opportunity to come out and socialize, fellowship. If you are wanting to test some gear, bring it out, you can bug out if you want to. You get about 13 acres of wooded terrain to mess with. Big creek if you want to go sucking through your life straws or your use your Sawyer minis or whatever you got. Water filtration systems, feel free. So there's old Scott Wexler in the house. So yeah. So anyway, our guest tonight, guys, if you haven't met him, we got Kishimoto Matt Ski. Actually, he does have another name. He's affectionately known as the Patriot Chef. So I'm still trying to get him for a long time to quit his job and open up the Patriot food truck. So
yeah.
Homeboy can do anything from make you coffee at Starbucks to roll you some sushi, right? Those are just some of his jobs. But
and smoking some meat.
Smoking some meat, yeah, definitely have had a few pounds of his. Wait a minute, that sounds really bad. There's Sam. What's up, buddy?
There's Sam.
Hey man, stay off the internet, okay? Go ahead and just shut that back off, dude. Go read a book or something. Don't crash my live stream. So yeah, I was getting ready to say I've had a couple pounds of Kishimoto's meat. And I said it anyway, but it is what it is. So guys, there's Patrick Woods. He's in the house, I believe.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's gonna say, Matt, they're always gaying it up.
Yeah, basically he said sucking your life straw. So that's funny. Hey, Patrick Woods, if you're hanging, if you could share out the link to this live stream, since I'm kind of jumping in as Chatty Cathy here. So share out the link to the live stream on the Facebooks and things of that nature for us. If you could send it into the alumni group, and all you other guys out there, share it out for us. So yeah, so here's the interesting topic, and I haven't told you guys, but we've talked about this because if you guys don't know, I hang out with Matt and Ariel a lot. And so it's kind of like my home away from home. They've been really cool, letting me store stuff at their house during this 2-year transition building process and things. But we both kind of come from probably some of the bluer states in the union, so to speak. So if you guys haven't figured out, like Hawaii is like super liberal and things of that nature.
You mean communist?
Yeah, why don't we just communist, because they got like, what do they got going on as far as I know you check in with the homeland pretty regularly with your brother that's out there. What are some of the mandates and all the crap that's going on out there?
Well, they got all the masks all the time, everywhere. And just to go visit, I think I don't know. You either have to have a vaccine passport, or you have to have I think a negative test within 48 hours.
Yep. Oh, the best is that you can't go to a restaurant unless you're vaccinated or have a negative test. I think something like that.
You got to show your papers, basically.
Yeah,
exactly.
You gotta show your papers. So let's just say it's like a giant New York City, right?
But maybe worse because it's more like insulated, like
isolated.
Isolated, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
And they're trying to normalize it, but and we'll talk to our family and we'll pose questions or friends, and they're like, oh, well, I never thought of that. Well, you need to think outside of all that.
Like Osher.
Huh?
What's up, man?
Osher. You have to show your papers to do anything, Yeah.
Yeah. I have to eat out. That's ridiculous.
And there's like some restaurants and things that are, going against it, just like they are here, or they were, when it was a big thing back, I don't know, a year ago or so, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
now they've drug it so long, and those people have probably died out. There probably wasn't enough support or something like that, which is the unfortunate part. But you guys are here in the lower 48 now, and we are better for it. So
we are too.
Yeah, so I always enjoy when their friends come over from Hawaii, because they don't live too far from the pit, and they get to take them over there and do some mag dumps and do some other cool stuff. I guess I'm sure there's if they're wearing masks, there's super strict gun laws and all that stuff over there, right?
Yeah. No carrying legally, right?
It is a may issue state, but essentially nobody gets issued. concealed carry permits unless you're in with, you know, the good old boys club kind of deal.
Unless your political affiliates align the right way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, gotcha. And what'd you say? There's like one shooting range for the whole entire like 4 or 5 islands or something?
One public shooting range.
Really?
Yeah.
The one Diamond Head?
Mhm.
One?
Yeah.
Not just for the island?
I don't know about the rest, but I know for Oahu, which is like Oahu, which is the island that we come from, is the most populous island. It's what, 800,000 or more. I think the total population in Hawaii is like 1.3, 1.4, maybe something like that. And for the island that we live on, there's one public shooting range.
Gotcha. Oh, Jason Rapport says he's been to Hawaii, if you call it that. He's been to the naval base over there. So Patrick Wood says he has a question. He says, I have a question for the Kishimotos. Who is your favorite instructor and why is it Patrick? Question mark. That's funny. So, but that's an interesting question. I know who my favorite instructor is, and I know why it's Patrick. But anyway, but no, you guys have been with us from the get go. Probably in the, let's see, as a company, we came out and we developed a class called Next Steps, and it was basically teaching people, everything that they were supposed to be, they should have been taught in the concealed carry class, but they weren't, so that was, what makes a good holster, how to conceal, how to, what the good gear is, how to draw, shoot, reholster, all that stuff. Basically everything that we have put in our concealed carry class now. But I feel like you guys came to maybe the first class. It was like June of 19 maybe, or something like that. And Ariel almost died because it was really hot. And then you guys have basically taken every single class twice, if not 3 times, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So the big major question, besides all the stuff we didn't really talk about, I suppose, coming from communist states, but the big major question would be, tell us about, because we're transitioning from this 1-day format to this 2-day format, and what do you guys think of it? That would be awesome.
Definitely, it's got to be hard to eat the cost and commit to 2 days. But you guys have done a ton of training, so you understand. But to have the same group that you shot with the day before, to know them, to know their shooting habits and whether or not you trust them, that's great. Also, it's fresh. It's just so fresh. And you can build without having a 6-month gap or a 2-month gap between, one to the other. And to the question of who's my favorite, we had the luxury of, throughout all the classes, having all of you guys there for at least one of them.
Just going with a PC.
You guys make a freaking awesome team. I mean, between Patrick yelling and having really incredible amounts of knowledge, to your sniper and your calm way of talking people through things, and Jerry's just enthusiasm and kindness, like, it's just, you guys make a phenomenal team. And I think that's what kept me coming back personally, because I felt real supported and not just do it or don't.
So that would be an interesting kind of follow-up question, is like, we see kind of around in the industry and around on the socials that a lot of ladies kind of get drawn into ladies only classes, right? So we don't have any female instructors, or at least until you step up or something like that. But like being a female and coming through our classes, what can females kind of expect? And you kind of hinted on a couple of different personalities, but you get in my impression, you kind of get the softer, more supportive folks in the beginning. And if you're strong enough to survive into Pistol 2, then you get Patrick Woods. But go ahead.
No, I mean, well, honestly, even with that, like, going up through you guys have never been assholes. You know, you're always real supportive. I think for females, it's definitely the insecurity that's gonna hold you back. Like, yeah, it's more comforting to take a class with all ladies for some reason. You know, like ladies always go to the bathroom together and stuff like that. But it's if they can just break the seal and try to train with guys, I think that's actually more empowering because it levels the playing field, and you guys say that all the time. You know, it's the great equalizer, right?
It's not like, you know, our biggest thing is like, it's not like you're gonna get caught up in an all women's fight, more than likely, right? You know what I mean? So after a concealed carry, our version of concealed carry class, we quickly get into the purpose of our classes is to teach people how to fight, and we want to stack the odds in our favor as much as we can through preparation and training and real world scenarios. That was a direct quote out of Pistol One curriculum, by the way.
I think Ariel hit on something good there with in all that answer too about the 2 days as opposed to 1 day and then waiting months. You said you get to know the people you're there with.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've taken classes ranging from 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, you know, at a time. And there is a comfort in that.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean you become, you know, super great friends, although most of the people I've taken these classes with, we are friends with. But it does allow you to relax a little bit around those other things, especially when you're doing higher level skills, you know, and learning those ways to fight that can subconsciously in your head say, what if this dumbass does something stupid, you know? And that multiple days, and I think that was part in our thinking, although we never said it out loud when we wanted to do that route anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The premise, you know, just to kind of down to the nuts and bolts premise of going from a 1 to 2 day class format is, we know it's more expensive. But, you know, the information, the feedback has been kind of all across the board. You know, some people would rather, from what we hear, would rather take the whole weekend off, you know, instead of just like, you know, take the weekend off for a 1 day class, you know. But the premise was to get, you know, a bunch of reps back to back and really kind of shore up. Hey, show them that flag I gave you with Beavis and behind you. Go ahead. You can do it. Move to the side. Yeah. He says, Keith, yeah, are you threatening me? That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, that was a Facebook marketplace buy, and I bought it, and then I regifted it. So anyway, but yeah, so 2 day classes, just much better ingrainment of motor patterns and things of that nature. So, but let me know when is Matt just running to the fridge, or what's he got going on there?
Just putting the babies down. Time for bed.
Gotcha. So we'll start with one of Patrick Woods' questions. He said, for real question this time, favorite class you have taken, and if you could bring people to one class, which one would it be? Ready to go.
Oh, that's hard. Okay,
Well,
so
you can have two answers there. You understand?
Yeah.
Well, Matt gets his own answer. She only gets one, Jerry. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
I get one.
No.
You get one answer.
I want to take this one again.
Then one you want to bring somebody to.
Well, damn. I think for like to get people to bite, I think pistol one. That's for as a female. You know, it's not putting you in extremely uncomfortable positions, and it's showing you that you don't know what you don't know, and makes you hungry for more. It was kind of every class I took with you guys, I was always hungry for more, you know, like I just felt like more and more of an asshole, like not knowing anything. So, but caveat, after taking this pistol 2 and realizing how slow a learner I am, this is my 3rd pistol 2, and that class was freaking amazing. Great group of people that we were with for the 2 days. I mean, we had the 3 instructors there on Sunday. That was fantastic. It was I learned a lot, and I realized how valuable it was.
Yeah, and
But, yeah.
I've watched the journey and just the growth this past weekend. I don't know if it was growth or like you talked about earlier, empowerment. Like I think you finally figured out that you're like a badass, you know what I mean? And you can do some work. And I think finally it all kind of clicked and came together for you. So at least that's what I observed.
Well, thank you for that. That's very kind. But yeah, I mean, I realized like how to fix my mistakes without needing coaching, and that I can shoot some motherfuckers, which is kind of cool.
There you go.
But yeah, it was really
Awesome, awesome.
great.
Nice. And Matt's still not back. So
Yeah.
Jason Rapport said he did watch a fellow sailor get his jaw knocked off at the Red Lion by a bouncer there one time. That's pretty cool. It's a good
In
memorable story. Yeah. So awesome.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we got a serious question for you, Matt.
All right, serious.
And again, Patrick said for a real question this time, favorite class you've taken, and if you could bring people to just one class, which one would it be?
So first question was favorite class I've taken?
Favorite class you've taken.
Oh, rifles.
And preferably with us, not somebody else. Come on,
man. Well, okay, yeah. Rifle.
I forgot about rifle.
The rifle classes are great.
Oh, and medical.
But would you stop?
I'm sorry. Okay, it's your turn.
No, I would say that the next steps class that we took the first time was the most valuable class.
I said pistol 1.
Okay. Well,
cool.
I mean, it was like when we did our concealed carry, it was that, ours was I think it was $80 or something like that. But but it's one of those classes where it's like you basically sit there and bullshit, for half the day, and you watch like some videos or whatever, go over the paperwork and all that.
Try not to fall asleep.
And then you go out and shoot a few rounds on paper, and that's it. That's the end of the class. You don't really.
Well, and that's great because you've helped with the comprehensive carry and the way we do that. You know how that rolls in comparison, because we're done with all that BS by lunchtime.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's so much more valuable to go to the class, the comprehensive carry class that you guys have now.
Yeah, and I know you recently paid your fine and renewed your concealed carry class. So basically, you've been carrier for at least 5 years. Which is interesting, is that there's still people selling a basic concealed carry class for half of what you just said, $40.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Like, number one, they don't value themselves. They don't really value their students to apparently teach something of value that costs more. So it again, it's the bane of my existence. And Patrick's always got to kind of reel me back in. He's like, dude, you're comparing like McDonald's to, I think he said McDonald's to Longhorn the last time we had this conversation. But it still grates me to this day.
You're going through the motions. If you take one of those classes, you're going through the motions. It's just to get that piece of paper, and that's it. It's not to actually learn anything or learn how to defend yourself or anything like that. It's just to go get that piece of paper.
It's literally for the people that want to conceal carry class, so they can buy whatever they want.
Yeah,
it's and
that's where I came from at the beginning. I was like, oh, okay, so if I go and take this class for one day, then I can get whatever I want whenever I want, and I don't have to worry about limits and going through the background checks and all that. I mean, you still got to go through a certain amount, but it's all there already on paper, so it's easier, and that's kind of where I started, and why I got into concealed carrying in the first place.
Yeah. So sorry, I was looking at the YouTube feed and things. Did you answer the question on which class you think folks need to come to? Most important class for them to come to?
Me?
Yeah.
I think for, you know, like people that aren't into guns at all, haven't done anything with it, definitely come to the comprehensive carry, obviously.
Yeah.
But you've already kind of made that decision. So, but outside of that, yeah, pistol one is great. And then the rifle stuff after that.
Rifle.
Word.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
Rifle is badass, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, rifles are just awesome.
Nice.
But
Well
But-
said.
but you know, I mean, it's kind of not like one above the other too, because rifle's fun, but in reality, you probably need to go take the medical first.
Yeah, I think that's kind of you know, basically where we have settled. And for those folks out there that don't know it, we do offer a rifle class called Prepared Rifleman. It'll be in March of 2020, and usually we request that you've been to Prepared Pistol One, because you know, rifle is just a whole nother level of boom
Yeah.
and danger and things, and so you got to have that. You know, at least a basic working knowledge of safe gun handling and firearm safety rules and things, because it gets multiplied many-fold when we're out there with rifles.
Yeah.
Because by day two, you're moving and grooving. You know what I mean? So we're doing some teamwork. We're bounding, we're peeling, we're doing some different stuff. So anytime you're hustling with a rifle, it better be pointed in the right direction, and your finger better be off the trigger and all that stuff. So.
But so going back to that though, taking that medical class, it makes you realize that you know, if you're gonna be poking holes, you need to be able to plug holes.
Yeah.
And knowing how to use that equipment. It's like I carried a bunch of that medical stuff on me, or you know, at least near me. I mean, I carry it on me now, but for a while I carried it near me. And I didn't know how to use it though.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
usually, you know, so some of the things we historically will say is that you're more likely to use medical than your gun. Obviously, it's super important to carry medical. Even if you roll up on the scene and you don't know how to use it, maybe somebody will, and you can back them up, and you can be a good bystander. But yeah, ultimately, if you're going to be carrying medical, you need to know you have a basic knowledge of using it. You know what I mean? You know, as far as tourniqueting the extremities, sealing the box, packing junctions and things like that. That's kind of distilling it down. So,
Yeah.
man, we got all kinds of.
Like, you know, I'm a nurse. I don't know if you can see my scrubs, but like, I didn't know how to do that stuff. They never taught us that.
I saw you gangster in the cafeteria today, mismatching your purples. I saw it.
I just can't. I can't match.
Defy, right? Defy.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just
powers.
blatantly terrible, is what it is.
Well, what it is probably you get up at like 5:30 in the morning. It's dark, and you just like grabbing. I know the drill. You know what I mean? Just grabbing stuff and throwing it on. You know.
I appreciate you giving me excuses, but really, it's just laziness. I just grab whatever I feel like.
I heard that. So we got some chatting. I think Weapons Junkies in the house. You guys know Jody.
Jody.
John Krantz is still hanging in. They're talking about force on force, and so you know, right now we're planning the force on force stuff. We've got a low light building clearing class on tap for, I think it's February. And then if we're going to do a scenario based force on force class, it's going to be at the end of May. Right now we're kind of wrestling with, do we ante up on a space that has a roof? And I've kind of identified one. It's a little costly, but sometimes I kind of come from the if you build it, they will come sort of side of things. Or do we kind of build something incognito at the pit and things of that nature? So we're kind of wrestling with that. But some of the things they're discussing is, you know, some of our friends and fellow tactical response alumni coming in to serve as role players to kind of get us up off the ground. So Jason Routport, and I know John Krantz has a lot of experience because he has shot me badly because I've made many bad decisions in force on force training. And yes, somebody said force on force is where it is. Yep, and we would totally agree with all that. So that's kind of what they're discussing in the feed. So yeah, so looks like we got Junkie on board and things of that nature. We also, I see Andrew from Combat Art Training. If you guys are watching this back and you're in the Florida district, go check him out. We've been talking to Andrew about traveling to Florida and teaching the class. So I'm just trying to kind of keep the wheels spinning and always growing and things of that nature. So yeah, let me take a sip here real quick.
I was gonna say all of this is about, you know, spreading good information to people.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get somebody from, you know, Florida or Tennessee or something to come here. But if there's somebody that you can send them to, like, hey, I know a guy in that area.
So it's kind of funny you say that. One of the thoughts that crossed my mind for 2022 is working through our network, and you know, it's kind of grueling. It is kind of grueling having like big guests on, and Patrick can attest to that. You know what I mean? Like researching some stuff in the background so you have stuff to talk about. But I think a really cool idea. I mean, obviously you got 52 weeks in a year, give or take a couple, but it would be really cool to almost host somebody from a different state every week. You know what I mean? So that like we can start to connect the dots around the country. Obviously, there's some states that shouldn't really be part of the United States of America anymore. But they probably still have a 2A stronghold somewhere, you know, minus Hawaii, you know. So anyway, so
my brother's working on it.
That takes us down to like 49 guests. We don't need Hawaii, so that takes us down to 49. And I'm not really recognizing Guam or Puerto Rico, so sorry guys. But yeah, so that was an idea that had floated through my mind, you know, because just this year alone, I mean, we've been anywhere from Michigan down to Florida, and lots of folks in between. So Rev says, well, we should take those states back. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But we probably need to focus on North Carolina because it's like on the brink of, you know what I mean?
It's a hard
I feel
purple.
like, yeah, it's like you know, we're not really landlocked. You know, like I always think California is gonna like break off, like they're gonna have this big giant earthquake and California's gonna break off and like fall into the Pacific Ocean. So, but North Carolina's probably not going to do that. But I can see, like, you know, I almost envision like somebody pulling the plug out of the bathtub or something like that, and the state just kind of getting sucked into the inner sanctum of the world, into the planet. So
into that northeast.
well, there's that too, because you know Virginia's kind of lost. North Carolina's almost there. Yeah, we're in a big fight. So. Yeah. So other things you guys should know about the Kishimotos. Let's see. They're definitely on the homesteading side. If I've seen a duck oft, it was at their house. And so I just posted a video. I was over there not too long ago, and I'll tell you guys a funny story. So Ariel bumped off a squirrel in their neighborhood.
I didn't mean to. I wasn't targeting it. It just decided to die underneath my tire.
Yeah. So anyway, she only ran over its head. So she's got a cool picture of it. It's like eyes popped up. But anyway, that's another story. But she proceeds to skin. Did you guys eat the squirrel yet?
No.
No. Okay. But she skinned out the squirrel, right? And so we're hanging out, and like all of a sudden, Matt brings out this piece of plywood and some nails, and like before I know it, I'm videotaping her like tacking this squirrel hide up, like she's gonna tan it or preserve it or something like that. So that might be a cool TikTok video. So I posted on TikTok, and it actually got deleted or it got banned or whatever for community guidelines because of graphic footage. I was like, get out of here, man.
Graphics.
All the gun stuff I posted lately, like I'm trying to get kicked off of TikTok, you know, and they want to go for that. So that's somebody
at this point,
probably complained about it.
She wasn't even gutting the squirrel or anything. It was just tacking it up and putting salt on it, right?
Just
Yeah. So I posted the video an hour.
It was already skinned out.
I posted the video. I guess I could probably post it as a YouTube short so everybody could see it and just see what happens. But it'll probably get, I don't know. Who knows? You never know. It could get 1 million views. It could get 30.
Andrew Precious is hanging out right now, drying up real nice.
So let's go grab it. Let's see it.
Can you move?
I can't believe you named it. No, you can bring it over.
Told you.
There it is. Oh, you got it all. You got it all salted, and tacked up.
Salted up. Yep.
Nice. What did somebody on the alumni page said that you're making like a dress, a fur coat for a Barbie doll or something?
That's funny. Yeah, I actually thought about using it as a Christmas present for the niece and nephew in Hawaii, but we'll see. I don't know how their mom would feel about
That'd be
that.
crazy. Andrew from Combat Art Training called you the MF Squirrel Slayer.
You know what's funny is that day I was fully intending on shooting a squirrel in my backyard, but
she was talking about it all day.
I was bothering you about it, but I talked to one of my friends and he reminded me about warbles, so I was like, oh, I guess I'll wait. And then 1 minute, not even a minute down the road, I go and kill a squirrel. I was like, yes, it's time.
See, every somebody was shining down on you. Yeah, I think it's supposed to wait till like probably November, December, especially when it gets cold, when those bot flies out. Like historically about the same time that like rabbit season is here in North Carolina, because rabbits are really bad to get about getting bot flies and warbles and stuff like that. So
that's exactly what he said.
So weapons junkie Jody said, I need to learn how to process ducks and chickens. Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah.
So and Patrick said, they are your people.
Oh, Patrick, you know how to do it too.
Jason Rapport said, Jody, you will die trying to be a country boy.
Oh no.
Jody, we're about 15 minutes away from you.
Oh, so get this.
Maybe 30.
We have an Asian neighbor who has a bunch of ducks and chickens, and he just got him one of those pluckers, like that washing machine that plucks it for you.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
The night nurse at the hospital.
Yeah.
I've heard this story. Like Jenny's month-long stint on night, she met that fellow. So
Asian rednecks in the house.
But yeah, so even Jenny's been talking serious about some livestock stuff. She's like, I could raise livestock, but somebody else has to kill it. I was like, okay, we can find people to do so. So
we're your people.
That's right. Jason Rapport said the first freeze kills the botfly larva. So
thank you for
and
that.
There's Jody's wife, Katie. Cheddar, so you might be right. He told me tonight he is a delicate flower. Okay, so she's talking about Jody, but yeah, we should have had Katie on last week when we were talking about that crack hotel. That was pretty well. I guess we did a live. So, but anyway, so she would have been.
Was she at the crack hotel?
She was at the crack hotel. See, they left like an hour or so before us, but Matt knows this because he goes to Greenville, South Carolina all the time. Like 20, 30 minutes can make a big difference. And so, but they left an hour before us, and they like got down to the hotel because what the deal was is there was a at Iraq Veteran 8888, there was a meet and greet at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. But so they got down there and checked into the hotel. They rolled into their first room and they were like, this ain't gonna do. So somehow they got one of the better rooms in the hotel, and,
which wasn't great.
Which still wasn't great. I mean, it still had like a hint of smoke, but it was way better than the room that Patrick and I stuck Jerry in.
Oh,
I saw the pictures.
That's so badass though that she was there. You guys went down for training, right?
No, it was
down to stand watch over the parking lot. That's all I did that night.
shoot some cannons.
It was a range day. So like Iraq Veteran is a huge YouTuber, and there was a bunch of other huge YouTubers there. And it was a range day where a bunch of different vendors came out and they had all these tents, and you could shoot like full auto rifles to full auto pistols to just trying out like somebody had some older stuff, or somebody had some kind of more obscure European stuff like that. New mags that came out. You name it. Like Jody's already done a video on some mags that he picked up at the range day. So let's see. Routport said you guys should have had my moonshine. You wouldn't care how dirty the room was after about a half a jar. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I still could have. Patrick would probably. He probably would have just poured the moonshine out all over the room and lit it on fire with the road flare that you said we should have burned it with last week. So, but yeah. So looking forward to next year. We're definitely going to plan ahead for the range day and have much better accommodations.
Make sure there's not a football game going on at the same time.
Well, I think if we get ahead of it and we stay like 20 to 30 miles away and just drive in or whatever, that would be funny. But there ain't no way I'm staying at the Red Roof Inn in Livonia, Georgia anymore. So I wish.
So sweet. She said she'd hang with you guys anytime, just not in a crack hotel.
There you go, Katie. There you go.
You haven't cleared off yet.
She was giving me hell because we, I was just kind of just cutting loose and hanging out, but I got like the Mac Daddy Giant. What's that drink? Margarita. I had this like giant fishbowl margarita, and she was giving me heck because I couldn't finish it, but we ended up staying there talking so long that I did. So take that, Katie. Yeah. And that's probably the only reason I was the only one that got sleep that night. So,
good for you.
I feel guilty because I got about 4 hours of sleep that night. Jerry probably got 0, and I know Patrick got about 1 hour. So
I had about 45 minutes in the parking lot of Cracker Barrel while we were waiting on them to open.
It wasn't even that long. It was like 25, waiting on Jody and Katie to wake up, and
it was already daylight by then. Huh?
Katie's 2-hour makeup process and all that other stuff. So
how dare you?
How dare I?
Time.
Just about as long as Patrick's beard.
Yeah, for sure. But
it smells so nice.
He does. What is it, like chocolate caramel or something like that?
Whatever it is,
this
it smells
weekend,
good.
yeah.
You gain a whole nother appreciation when you're wrestling with them, and it's all up in your grill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
yes.
it's certainly better than body odor. I can tell you that. And Matt. Okay, so here's another thing. Kish, as in Matt down below or wherever he is on your screen, he came to Edge Weapons with Craig Douglas with me. So he knows a thing or two about folks with body odor and hanging out with him. So
that's a tough class.
Yep.
If you want to go to Edge Weapons, be ready.
That's right. For sure. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still reading. I'm reading some of the.
No, I'm not trying to scare anybody away.
No, I mean, we'll talk about it here in a second. Like, anybody knows if you're going to a Craig Douglas class, like, you better be, you're in for it. Like, especially if you got a dad bod and stuff like that, like, you better pace yourself because it's there you go. You better pace yourself because it is usually 3 grueling days. And I don't know. I've taken both classes, and I distinctly remember people saying that Edge Weapons was harder than ECQC.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
You broke it. And I think they were just saying that it was harder because I don't exactly remember why, but I have to differ with them. You know what I mean? Because Edge Weapons was just a solid 2 days, right? It wasn't a 3-day course.
Yeah, no, it was 2 day, 2 like 12-hour days.
Was it not?
Yeah. No, ECQC was 2.5. Just call it 3. And it was like super, super grueling. Like, to have to flex back and forth from from shooting to freaking ground and pound and getting lit up by sim rounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's one thing, you know. Both of them are hard. Let's just be prepared for it. You know what I mean? But it should definitely, if you're hanging with us and you're watching us, it should definitely be on your bucket list for classes. Like, you know, it will definitely show you where you need to train for sure.
I would say Edge Weapons, from what you told me about ECQC, Edge Weapons is a little more like kind of learning the basics of hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. So it's kind of running those drills over and over and over and over, kind of going through those repetitions.
So less.
And so ECQC.
Oh no, it's definitely grueling.
The first 4 hours of ECQC, like the half day, is the managing unknown contacts, and then a lot of the wrestling based stuff, and then and then we get to the if my memory serves me correctly, you get to the range the next day, and it's like a half a day shooting, half a day hands-on grueling stuff, and then the next day is a half a day shooting, half a day hands-on grueling stuff. But it's different, like, you know. So like Edge Weapons, like you start on your feet, both of the evolutions, versus ECQC, like there's one where you're totally disadvantaged. You're on the ground, the other dude's already on top of you, pretty much. So it to me it's different. So and to me personally, ECQC was harder. You know what I mean? Because Matt Kishimoto can attest. You know, Craig, basically your two main objectives in Edge Weapons class, especially in the evolutions, are to stay conscious and stay on your feet. Right? I accomplished that goal. I might not have done anything else. I might have looked like one of those linemen in a football game with like 3 people hanging on me, but I did not go to the ground. Versus ECQC, you're put on the ground, and if you don't know what to do, you're screwed. And let's just say I was screwed both defensively and offensively. So, anyway,
those are some big dudes you were with, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's Craig Douglas is an excellent instructor. If anybody's watching this back and you haven't trained with him, you should. From a 3 foot and in perspective, like, you know, he's as legendary as Clint Smith would be in the firearms, or James Yeager, or any of those big dogs. Like at 3 foot and in, if you haven't checked that box, you need to. I'm just saying, be prepared.
That's his.
You know what I mean? Be prepared. But if there's my train of thought was, he's excellent in a lot of things, but 2 of them are your time management, and that's one, and the other one would be like pairing you up. Like, he's very good at dissecting the class and figuring out ability levels and who to pair you up with, so that you do have a successful. You know, a lot of it is unscripted, and you know, I mean, it is what it is. But physically, he tries to match you up with skill and physicality. So that's a really cool part. So,
hey, we got a great question here.
Yeah, man.
For Matt and Ariel. Do y'all come home from classes and practice together? Great question, Rev.
That's a different kind of wrestling, I think. I'm not sure.
No. So let me be real about this. So I've been real upfront about, I hate taking pistol 2 because it's very uncomfortable for me.
And she took it for her 3rd time this past week, right?
And I'm gonna tell you guys, I am 4'10". I weigh 115. Like, I am a tiny little person. And then, you know, I go up against Matt O'Neill, who's a little bit bigger than me, we'll say. So, you know, I'll go and take these pistol 2 classes and come home and want to practice, and Matt will kick my ass. So I don't like practicing with this fucker. He's an asshole. But But after this past class, you know, I can see the value in it. I can see that I'm not just a rag doll in the whole situation. Like I could possibly do things to help myself, and I need to further that through.
So here it is, Ariel, and we talked about this in class the other day. Like being 4'10" has its distinct advantages.
It
And
does.
as long as you use your height and your center of gravity to your advantage, like, you know, and then you just got to add like every single ounce of your body weight to that. But it comes, it comes with distinct advantages. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
it's extremely difficult for somebody like me or you know, Brian that was in class or Todd that was in class. You know,
yeah,
we're all in that 6 foot class to have to come, you know, for old dudes to bend their knees that much and be able to bend their knees and you know, so you know, and maintain, you know, pressure, posture and positioning, and maintaining pelvic tilt and swivel and all that stuff, you know. So that's if you guys don't know that are out there watching, that's what we're working on. So, but it's very hard, you know what I mean? So it's very hard for us taller guys, especially with some age, to lower our center of gravities and bend our knees without dipping our body forward. You know, so if our head and everything comes forward, I mean, you can easily like snatch it and knee us right in the nose and break our, you know what I mean? So it's just something that until you train, you don't realize. So, but you definitely have a distinct advantage, you know, whether you realize it or not. Like you may have to get somebody else to put like the Tupperware in the upper cabinet in your house, but you know, but anyway, fighting wise, like, you know, shorter and smaller center of gravity always generally better. So I'm just checking out some of these things. We got Tom Davis checking in. Tom and his crew came to Pistol One back in June, I believe. They're kind of from the eastern or middle Tennessee area. So anyway.
Oh, Jason's calling me out, man.
What did he say?
He said, I'm 6'2" and 375. I'll be a role player. You better practice.
Yeah. Force on force. That means you have a gun. So
I really am.
Yeah. So this is where dry practice comes in handy. So, you know, force on force, obviously, you know, there's, you know, Patrick's working on scenarios and things. He's writing curriculum and things like that. But, you know, you always have options, right? You know, if you don't learn anything, there's probably 2 or 3 top lessons you can learn in force on force. If you don't learn anything but like if the spidey sense goes up and you shouldn't be there, you know what I mean?
You can run.
You can run. You can always leave. You can always run, and nobody's gonna say anything. You know what I mean? So another one would be so some people are really good at listening to that sense. Another big major lesson on force would be don't talk yourself out of making the decision, right? You know what I mean? Because you can see in force, and the role players will tell you this because they see, you know, all kinds of participants, like they'll be in a certain scenario and somebody will go to leave and they'll sit back down. They'll go to leave and then they'll sit back down. So like not talking yourself out of leaving is a big thing. I'm not trying to ruin the classes and stuff for you.
No.
But then there's some other things, like you just don't go
don't go looking for a fighter. You'll find.
Yeah, you don't go looking for a fight. You don't have the white coat syndrome. And you know, number one thing is like you always go back to the last place you weren't getting shot at. You know what I mean? So those are some big major tenets of force on force. I'm not trying to give it away and help you out, but you know, if anybody gets a little tip, it'd be you guys. So
you know, as for trying to pull in the females, that's definitely a thing, because yesterday I went shopping with the babies, and we went to like a strip mall, and we hit 3 different stores all in a line. And you know, the first store I saw a guy, and I, you know, saw him throughout the store and whatever. the next door we go, and he about follows us in. So I look at him, you make eye contact. I see you, motherfucker. And he leaves, which is sketchy in itself. And I hadn't seen him buy anything from either of those stores. And then the third store we go to, he was coming out of it without buying anything. And, I have, on the one hand, maybe I should have left. On the other hand, I know that I can protect my children and I'm looking. But, I talked to Matt about it that night, and he asked him, like, do you ever get, like, do people ever do that to you? He's like, no, but you're a female. Like, that's the scariest shit. That's what really got me into caring, is trying to protect myself and my children.
Yep. So they see a small petite female and they automatically think target.
Yeah.
But man, if somebody messes with you, I feel bad for them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Anyway, so this is your first live stream experience, right? So we've been at it a hot minute. And how fast do you think that last hour just went?
Is it an hour?
It's been about an hour.
Oh,
about 57
fun.
minutes or so. Yeah, 56 minutes. So
Was it as fun for you guys as it was for us?
I hope so. It looks like we had some good consistent chatter on the live stream, and we didn't have too many dead spots here on the live. So we'll take a couple minutes, just make sure there aren't any other questions from the peanut gallery for the Kishimoto's. Again, we got Matt Kishimoto. He's a Patriot chef. He's jack of many trades. Homeboy has helped me on electrical work, cutting down trees, to whatever, you name it. I might be his lawn boy, but it is what it is. So we trade off services sometimes, and so and we didn't really get into everybody's background, but Ariel's at a nurse at a hospital that I might work with, and things of that nature. So these guys have taken every single class that we've offered. So from way back on our Next Steps days to Pistol 1, 2, 3,
radio,
medical, low light. Yeah, you guys are at kind of Evan's crash course for radio. We got the rifle classes, and then somebody
bags.
Yep. So, but we're coming out with a shotgun class, and Ariel's got her little pea shooter shotgun. She can come out.
Jerry.
Yep, Jerry. Yeah, hopefully if I keep mentioning shotgun class, January 29th, the curriculum will get written, and we'll meet up to roll through it and test it. So, so Patrick says, "Thanks guys for filling in for me, Slackers. No problem, man." So hopefully it was a fun show. I don't see any residual questions and things. We got lots of love coming in from the feed, from Weapons Junkie to they enjoy your smiles, Evan Dixon. So these are all folks that are close to us. That if it wasn't for number 1, Tactical Response, and number 2, Prepared Patriot, we wouldn't be connecting these dots and getting all these folks together. So happy for both those. Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you guys. Like you're saying, you really built a community that we've been able to become a part of, and just a great gang of people, and for being such great instructors that you didn't scare me away. When we started, I had more experience with guns than Matt did, but getting into it, I was a lot more fearful, probably just because, I had a heavy respect for guns. But, I haven't quit yet. So I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome.
When I think for all three of us, we can say we don't look at you guys as students now. We look at you as family. So
word. Exactly. Weapons Junkie in closing, he says, shotgun is the shit. I'm there. Weapons Junkie, you and Jerry need to be talking and collaborating on some curriculum. That's all I can say. And so we always say, you're here at Prepared Patriot, carry smart, carry safe, carry and be prepared. but Thomas Davis, he puts it, it's a John Farnham quote, don't go stupid places with stupid people doing stupid things, right? So, and if you do, carry smart, carry safe, and be prepared. So with that, guys, we truly appreciate everybody's time tonight. Thanks for watching in the gallery, guys. Thanks, Eagle. I'll call you Bald Eagle. That's right. You're Bald Eagle now. Sorry, I've been drinking a little bit, starting to kick in. And thank you very much to the Kishimoto family for hanging out with us tonight. So
Thanks for having us.
Night, y'all.
With that, guys, we will sign off. We much appreciate your time, and hopefully same time, same place, same YouTube channel, Prepared Patriot and C.